today is a lot of the times I make these really big over the top wreaths, right? But I want to show people that there are other styles you can make that are more manageable, especially if you are just starting out with wreath making, or maybe you don't want something huge. You just want something smaller and cute. And I'm trying to make things that are in lots of different price ranges. So today, what I'm going to be doing is I've got this sign, which came in the Deco Exchange Wreath Supply subscription box. So that's where I got this from. There's a link to Deco Exchange. It's an affiliate link. It is in my bio. But so basically every month we don't know what supplies we're getting. They surprise us. It's like a Christmas gift to ourselves. And Megan from Gal vs. Glue Gun picked the supplies this month, and it's fantastic. It's this sign. It was, I think, this black and pink mesh you see there we're going to be using today. And also, I'm not sure if it was the 1.5 or the 2.5 because I bought one of these. But there's a spooky pink and black boo ribbon, which is amazing. It also has this one, and then this candy corn one, but you can see it's got pink edging. Like that's going to match so perfectly. In case we needed, I bought this on my own. This is pink and black stripe. And I do have, if I decide I want to use it for another touch of black, I got this myself. This says spooky, and it's got a little bit of like the teal color brought into it. I'm not sure I'm going to use this or not. What I initially picked, but I'm not going to be using, is I do have 4-inch ribbon, but most people don't have access to purchase 4-inch ribbon. So I am not going to be doing that on this wreath. Because I want to show people what they can make with supplies that they could find at their own local craft store without having to place an online purchase, etc. Today's wreath is going to be something that people can make on their own without having to have, you know, lots of experience with wreath making. So this here, this is called Deco Mesh. This is a poly mesh, so this is plastic. I've cut 2 different colors, but I'll show you with the black. So this is 10 inches tall, and I cut these lengths at 18 inches a piece. So I have 2 different colors that I'm grouping. I've got the pink on the edge with the white stripe and on the black, and then I have pink with the pink metallic stripe. And I've already pre-cut this. I cut both of the entire rolls. I think I probably have about 18 pieces of each. And then this is a work form. Now, I got this one from Craft Outlet. However, you can get work forms like this at Hobby Lobby. The Christmas section right now currently has them on sale. I know that they've got, I think, silver and gold, and they have red too, but you can always use a silver or a gold for fall. So don't be afraid to go shopping other sections of the store, even if it's not your holiday, because you never know what you're going to find. So these are tines, and basically what you do is you open these up, and once we curl up the mesh, we put it in here, and then we twist it in here, and it stays. And then later on we untwist it, put in some of our ribbons, and then retwist it again. So basically this is what's going to hold our entire wreath together. Now this is I'd say this is about is that 2 or 3? I can't tell. My eyes are going. This is about 3 inches tall. So this is going to be a deeper wreath. Now, if you want a skinnier wreath, they do make frames at $1.50 tree or $1.25 tree. But if you put a lot of things on there, those won't hold up. If you're doing something very, very simple, like a pancake wreath that you want very thin, not a lot of mesh, not a lot of ribbons, those work perfectly. But once you start adding things, the integrity of the frame will pop apart at the joints. I've had that happen to me, so I've learned my lesson. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to make ruffles with these. So I'm going to start with the first bunches I grabbed. So I'm going to make ruffles with these. So what I do is, it's like you see the edge, it's a little frayed. I'm afraid it's not quite entirely straight because the mesh does pull and stuff. So what we do is we curl it in just a little bit. So you can see we've kind of created a little curl there. That keeps it from fraying. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. I'm going to make sure you guys can see very well. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to kind of scrunch it up. We're going for a bow tie shape. So I scrunch it up, kind of drag it up there, and pinch it together. And then you can see we've made this cute little bow tie. I'm going to take him and I'm going to plant him on the bottom right here in that open tine, and I'm going to close it for now. And you can see that's how it's in there. It's nice. It's closed. It looks great, right? But it's not like totally full. So we're going to add a second one on top of that, right? You can also use 21-inch mesh, the really long rolls of mesh, and you can just create poofs, like basically between 8 to 10 inches long and go from here, 8 to 10 inches, and then go into here. So you can make poofs as well. This is just the ruffle style. I do have other videos on my, I can't say it, but the Tube of the U, I have a channel under Sweet Aria Decor that has lots of different videos showing different methods, including the poof method. So I'm going to make another one of these little ruffles. Here we go. And I'm going to open this back up. And I'm going to put this one in here as well. Now you can kind of see, I didn't just stack them one on top of each other. This one kind of went this way. This one's kind of going more up and down. If I tilt it, I kind of want it to be making more like of an X shape, right? So you can see the different angles that it goes on. So we're going to do like a bit of an X. We're going to go all the way around. So hungover? No, I wish I were hungover. I might be hungover from NyQuil from last night, but oh my gosh. No, I don't know if it was RSV. It was not COVID. I COVID tested twice. It wasn't that. My doctor said, it's a virus. I did the video call. It's a virus. Wait 7 to 10 days. It's been 7 days and I feel no better. So I wanted a Z-Pack and they wouldn't give me one. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. Okay, so now since I had the black on top here, I'm going to go with the black on bottom here. So I like to alternate this. So I'm going to close that up, put that in there, and now I'm going to do my pink. And I've pre-cut all this mesh. Again, this is 10-inch mesh. I cut these at 18 inches long a piece, and I got about 18 cuts out of what is like a 30-yard roll. I can't remember. So you can see here now that both are getting a chance to shine because we're doing the alternating. Now you can always do all the same color. You can do 21-inch mesh with one set of 10-inch ruffles if you want to mix it up a little bit. I've done that a lot as well. It all depends how full you want this wreath. Now I don't want to go super, super full. Let me move this over here so I don't knock it over again. I don't want to go super full. Again, I'm not trying to make this one of my over-the-top wreaths. But I want to make this something a bit more affordable. Rolling it up, scraping it in. I'm going to try to go a little faster now that you guys have seen the basic technique. I know, I love these colors, right? You know, I always love pink. Obviously, those are my logo colors. Pink and black are my favorite color combination of all time. And to see it now for Halloween, I think we're going to see a lot of pink at Christmas, but I think we're going to see a lot of pink mixed in with the blue, like almost like pastels kind of mixed together. It was hot last year too. But I think that's kind of like a candy theme is what I'm seeing a lot of coming down the pike for this year. So I do have some of that, but I do like to also stick to traditional. While it's fun to try out the really trendy stuff, I never know what's actually going to sell. And I bought so many supplies this year that I really need to focus on selling and not buying anymore because, you know, this is my full-time business and I am trying to make a profit at it. I'm going to start doing wreath classes, but I didn't want to start that until I got back from vacation. So I'm going to branch out into that. I've got all these plans in my head. It's just really hard to execute on them when all you can do is sleep. So we'll see.
Now I'm going to speed up the process for the ruffles that are remaining on the bottom part of the ring. But again, it's just alternating the different colors. Pink on bottom, black on top, and black on bottom, pink on top. And keep doing that until you finish the bottom ring.
Okay, so you can see I have finished the outside ring. So I think there's typically 10 on the outside, 8 on the inside. So we're going to be going to that next. 10 on the outside, 8 on the inside. And I think I had 18 of each. So this should give me exactly the amount I need. If not, I do have a way to fake. I've got some solid black. I could always fake it if I needed to on the inside. A lot of this is going to be covered on the inside with like bows and the sign. So I'm not too concerned about that. Hey, you're in Schaumburg, Denise. I used to work in Schaumburg, right by the IKEA. There's a Optum Health. I used to work there. I would commute in, or I was remote. I didn't want to drive that far because, you know, given that time of day, it was like literally like an hour and 20-minute drive there and back. And I was like, nah, not for me. I was remote. My husband worked for them too, as well. He was remote, worked for them. He literally worked for them up until a week before he passed away. So he was what I consider a lifer there. He was there for many, many years as a software developer. So I was a business analyst. I got to tell developers what we needed, and then they got to execute on it. So I never really worked directly with my husband on a project, which was a good thing because, honestly, I love my husband. I miss him very much. Cancer sucks. But I have heard that he was not the most pleasant person to work with. And I believe it because I would hear him on some conference calls, like, you know, over the weekend when they were doing their software, you know, updates and stuff, and they'd have to do it at like midnight on a Saturday night. And I'd kind of hear how he was getting a little temper going. And I'd be like, Mike, you got to calm down, dude. So, yeah, I miss hearing that. It used to drive me nuts, but it's funny. The things that drive you the most nuts about your partner is the thing you miss the most. I cut the mesh at 18 inches long a piece. Hey, from Elk Grove. All right, Kathleen. Awesome. We got some local peeps here. All right. We're meshing it up in the shy today. Hey, hey.
And continue adding the ruffles around the top layer.
Okay, I've got all of my mesh in there now. So this measures right now, that's about 26 inches tip to tip, but you could really probably market this as 24 because stuff squishes in. Like that's like end tip to end tip, but it's just typically, I'd say 24. So we're doing good. We're on a roll. So now I even have one set left. Make sure I didn't miss any. Check the back. Looks like everybody's got some mesh, which is perfect. All right. So now I got to decide how I'm going to place my sign. I think what I'm going to do is put my sign kind of up here and put some ribbons and bow down here. So I think what I want to do now is my next step is I'm going to make a bow. So how I cut my ribbon tails is I cut them at 14 inches long. Now this is a ribbon tail board. You can see it says 13 inches and 14 inches. And there's some grease from when I dropped some fries. On the back, you can see this came from Hot Mesh Mom. And her website is shophotmeshmom.com. I love these. I used to cut these, measure them out by hand. How silly of me, right? So I don't want to do that. So basically you just kind of wrap the ribbon around here. Now I need 18. So I'm going to do 2 groups of 9. Okay. So this started back here. So I'm going to put a little bit over there just to kind of hold it in place. I'm going to wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I'm going to cut it. I slide it off that board so you can see it basically makes a giant tube, right? So I'm going to find right in here. I'm going to put my scissors through, cut once, cut the other side, take out the extra little piece, and I now have 9 pieces of ribbon. I'm going to keep this all bunched together. This is why I didn't cut 18 at once. Okay, I'm going to make sure that all the ends are even. Come on. Don't make a liar out of me. I'm making sure all ends are even. Black and white stripe would be pretty too. Yeah, that would be actually. You know what? I think maybe instead of that, I'm going to use some black and white stripe. I like your idea. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this on an angle. So I bent it together. I cut it on an angle, and then look. Dovetail. So pretty. We're going to do that on the other end. There we go. Oops. Okay, so I got 9 of those. I'm going to do it again. 9 of those. Do it again. Okay. And you know what, Carrie, you inspired me. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to bring this other one back. I'm going to just cut 9 of each of the 2.5 inch. I'm going to get my black and white. Hold on a second. Bear with me. I'm off camera, but I'm still here. So this ribbon, most of this came from Deco Exchange in a ribbon supply box. I purchased this one from Craft Outlet, and I got this on sale at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale because it's half off. So this whole roll is 30. It's a 50-yard spool. This was $15.78, then half off of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I can figure out how I'm going to pair these up. All right, now let's see for the next one. So we've used that one. We've used that one. I know I want to use the boo. Now we need a 4th 2.5 inch ribbon. Now this I got from Craft Outlet. This says Happy Halloween. It says creepy. And I like that it's got, I got it because I like that teal color. I'm a sucker for teal. My first wedding, it was all teal and white. It was 1995. It was popular. All right, let me see. I got my mesh. The pink came from Craft Outlet. The black came from Deco Exchange. Deco Exchange, there is an affiliate link in my bio. I don't know if they have any of that left, but you can definitely go check them out. They've got the best quality supplies and really good deals too. Both of them have good deals on shipping. But I want to know, how many of you guys watching right now, how many of you guys are wreath makers? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sometimes you get to see other people that maybe have access into other trends and stuff that are coming down the pike. Give you a little heads up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna put my tails in, and then I'm gonna make a bow. So let's make some tails. Let's figure out how we're gonna pair these up. So these are my possible options. So I have boo, and I have black and white, and I have candy corn, and I have this. So this is, I consider this a smaller pattern and this a smaller pattern. So I think I'm going to pair this with this and this with this. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. All right. And then I will alternate which 1.5 inch I'm going to use. So let's start. And I put them on the side. I kind of curl them up so I can just kind of pick from the pile which ones I want. So I'm going to go with these. Getting everything together, right? That is one of the hardest parts. That's why the subscription box is nice, because everything you get in that is meant to go together. But I love, and I'm going to go one of those. I love picking out the products. I love shopping and putting the products together more than I like actually making the wreaths. Like, I know that's weird, right? I know, it's weird. Okay, so I'm opening up the bottom. As I should tell you what I'm doing. Hold on. I'll get this one in there, and then I'll tell you what I did and how I achieved the look. All right. All right. So I'm kind of doing it like this. So it's because I got 3 of them in there. Because this is mostly going to be the embellishments. I'm not going to use a whole lot. I'm going to mainly use ribbon. Okay. So what I did, and I'll show you on the next one, is I take 2 of the 2.5 inch ribbons. And then on the top, I will put another one of the patterns. All right. So we lay them all out. You can see they're all on top of each other. All the ends should kind of line up. They're not going to be exact, but they're going to be close. And then I bend it in half so the ends meet roughly. So I can see my center point, which is roughly right here. So then I undo it. I can see the crease. And then that's where I crinkle it up because that's the center point. And then I bend them. They kind of come down because these are going to kind of come down. The top I will do a little bit differently because we want that to kind of span inward as well. So this is all the bottom ones. And I open it up the tines. I put it in there. And then I twist them back closed, right? So there we go. So now we have to fan these apart. So I like to keep the 1.5 inch in the middle. So I'll take these two, fan them apart, and that's in the middle. And then I'll go the opposite directions with the other ones. So again, we're making that X pattern. And that's kind of in the middle. And there we go. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to take this one out. I'm not going to use this 1.5 inch. I will use that on something else. I dropped them all behind me. All right, here we go. Moving along. This is going to go. I'm going to try to go as fast as I possibly can here. Here we go. Hi, Margaret. Thanks for joining. Hi, Dan. Thanks, you guys, for watching. I appreciate it. So what are you guys up to this weekend? Who's got some fun stuff going on? Yeah, it's back to school, which is fun for us. I don't like getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll tell you that much. I miss that. I could sleep all freaking day because I don't fall asleep until like 2. I have trouble sleeping. I didn't always. It's just me and my daughter now because, as I said before, my husband passed, and so it's we're used to sleeping with somebody next to you. It's very strange to get used to not having them there, but my daughter, well, she used to sleep on our floor anyway because she's got some separation anxiety. So now she sleeps in his spot. But as the night goes by, she starts out this way, and then she starts going that way, kicking, because I'm right there, and then soon I'm getting kicked right in the girl parts. That was last night. That was super fun. Yeah. And then the dog likes to sleep. Now she's migrating to sleeping in my head. We have a Maltese Bichon Frise, and she's about 13 pounds. She's cute. She's white. She's fluffy. She's the love of my life. But like I said before, I'm 50, and I sweat like a pig during the night, and she likes to sleep right on top of me. So instead of sleeping behind my back and making me wake up feeling like I'm spontaneously combusting, I'm trying to get her to sleep. She's sleeping up by my head, which is fine until she farts. It's right in my face. I'm like, oh, dude. Fun times. Go this way. Go the opposite way. I love how this is turning out. These colors are just so fun, and I love the little ghosties. I like Halloween that's like cute. I don't like scary Halloween stuff because I'm a big wuss. I am a big wuss. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is the bottom rung. All right, so this is the X pattern with the 1.5 inch that kind of goes right through the middle. And when you're done with this too, I won't do it now, but if you run your finger all along the wire on both sides, it helps curl it, and it gives it like a really nice natural curl to help how they lay. I will do that at the end when I'm all done, just because you don't want to watch me do that. And also it could get messed up the more I make things. So you can see the difference here between this is all curled out and this kind of was not yet. So there's a big difference. Sorry, let me get closer. You can see that. All right. Now I'm going to go on the top. Now this we're going to do a little bit differently. We're still going to use the same pairings we were using before, but the way I spread them out is going to be a little bit different because I'm trying to get more. This is more like bottom coverage from like here down. This I'm trying to cover like the whole top because I'm not sure, because I'm not, again, putting too many embellishments in this. So I'm bending it in half. I do the same thing I did before. I'm opening up the X. I'm going to put it in. All right. And then I tighten it, right? Oh, and I see a spare little, when you see these spare little things, I just snip them. Little mini vasectomy. Boop, boop, sorry. But this one, we're really going to try to make a wide X with this. So, because I want to cover the inside as well as the outside. So let me get this done, and then I'll show you. I'll hold it up and show you. So you can see down here, this was kind of like an X, but like a lower X. It was not as, it was more like this. Whereas on top, it's like this. Okay. You can see in the top right there. Because I'm going to have signs and stuff, but like I need to cover some of what's in the center and this as well. And you can still pull up from the bottom. Once we're all done putting on the ones on the top, we can make this more of the X as well. It just depends, I guess, how fluffy you've made your wreath and what you have in it. So this is definitely adjustable. So we're going to go through the rest of this on the top. All right, we're doing this one next. Oh, the sweating is real, guys. Oh my gosh. What is up with me today? All right. God, I'm loving these colors though. I have to get my stuff I made for myself last year. I made a candy corn garland and a candy corn wreath that were outside my house. And I got to get those out. I'm just debating. I'm like, I don't know when is it socially acceptable? Well, first of all, I don't care. I'm going to do it when I want, but I also don't want to get in trouble with the HOA. Oh, the neighborhood police. Oh no. Oh, they're going to get me. I think like early September, I'm going to do it. I've got it ready to go. It's made. It's been made since last year, but I don't know. Here we go. Okay, this is the last grouping, guys. This is the last grouping. Yay! All right. So now, all right, I'm gonna pull these apart. Awesome. All right, cool. So let me show you what this looks like. This is the whole shebang right now, right? And this ended up, this is a big fluffy gal. This is a big fluffy gal. But this is what the wreath is currently looking like right now. So it is about that thick. It's a thick girl. She's, I would say, if I put her at 10 inches, she's about a good 6 to 7 inches thick, probably more than that, honestly. So this could not go between a storm door, but that's what the pancake wreaths are for. That's a method by Sincerely Creative Mom, and she is amazing. You guys gotta watch her, follow her on the Book of the Face. I know she's got a channel on the Tube of the U as well. I really wish that TikTok let us say the names of those other sites without penalizing us. Penalize. I'm 12. I've told you I'm 12. All right, now we're going to get to the point where we are going to make the bows. Now, I might make 2 bows because I'm not using a 4.5 inch ribbon on this one, because this is going to be something that people could make at home. I think I'm going to use 2 ribbons, probably like one at the top and one at the bottom. So I am going to use, I have quite a bit left of all the 2.5 inch patterns, which makes me happy. So I'm going to start with this bottom one. This is Happy Halloween. I'm weird in that I like to dovetail my end before I start it. I hate having to go back and dovetail afterwards. So I'm pulling this ribbon all the way out, right? Now this is the Easy Bows Design Pro. I love this one. I cannot make bows by hand. My hands don't work well. I lose my grip. I've got arthritis, really bad arthritis in my one weird honkin' pinky. So I use this. This is my favorite craft tool. I could not do what I do without this. There is an affiliate link for this in my link tree that's in my bio. I don't know if we're allowed to say that either. Check my bio. There's a link tree. But they have this. They have a smaller wood version as well. So this is like the deluxe model. There's a smaller, more manageable one as well if you don't make wreaths that often. But I love this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here. So I think I'm going to make the tail for this one. Probably I'm going to put this tail out to 9 inches. So the tip is at 9 inches. So I've put it in here, right? What I do on this other side is I pinch and twist because I want the left-hand side to have the back facing me. So the ugly side of the back side of the ribbon on the left-hand side is facing up. Okay. Now I'm going to loop this over and I'm going to start off with, I think a 7-inch loop on this one because I don't have 4.5-inch ribbon. I'm trying to get some width to this. So I'm going to see where that loop hits 7 inches. I'm going to put it in here and then I'm going to pinch and I'm going to twist it. Okay. And you can see the back side of this ribbon is now facing up. And that's all it is it's a pinch and twist. It's like the bend and snap from Legally Blonde, right? It's pinch and twist. So I'm going to get that at 7 inches. I'm going to pinch. And then for this one, because this is going to be a top one, I'm just going to go, this one came out to 9 inches. I'll cut this one at 9 inches as well. Now this, I'll show you what I'm doing with the loops. This is not going to be like loop, loop, tail, tail. This is the opposite. So one tail goes up here, one tail goes down here. And then one loop here and one loop here. Again, it goes with that whole concept of an X, right? So we've got the X. That's our X. All right. Now the next one I'm going to do is, I'm going to do Boo next because, yeah, I'm going to do Boo next. Pink. Because I don't want to do a black on top of a black. So there we go. Now this time I'm starting at the other side. But see, this is not directional. This is kind of upside down. So that's upside down Boo, but that's right side of Boo. So I don't have to worry about it. I hate directional ribbon. When it's got wording and you got to make sure that it all faces upward, giant pain. Okay, so now this loop is going to come out to about, I'm going to do this one at like 6.5 inches. And then pinch and twist. Oh, they've got a mini version? Ooh, I might have to look at that one to get that one to take to craft shows. I'm going to try to make bows at craft shows this year. We'll see. All right, now I'm coming out. This one came out to 7. This one will come out to 7. And I'll trim it. All right. Woo! We're getting there. Now I'm going to use the candy corn. And if you don't have 3 different types, if you got just 2 different types of ribbon, you can just make another layer of ribbon using just a different pattern. What helps make the bow look more full too is you don't have to have a loop. These tails stick out and that takes up volume as well. So that adds to it all. Okay, that'll come out to 6 for the tail. And then this loop, I'm probably going to have, that one was at 6.5. This one's going to be a 6-inch loop. And so far, so good. There's no splicing in this roll of ribbon that I can see. That's when they basically take 2 ends of the ribbon and kind of cut it together so they can keep going on the chain, which sometimes can really screw up your project. Drives me nuts. Sometimes they'll splice it really well and you can't really tell, but other times it's just like so haphazard you have to basically kind of figure out a way to cover it up or cut it off and start over. Okay, so that's that's the last of the 2.5 inch. Now I'm going to do the 1.5 inch. And I'm going to do pink ghost. See, I got black, pink, black. Now I'm doing pink. There we go. I'm going to do a little something different for the bow that's going to be on the bottom. Okay, so that was my last tail that way. So I start over here. And I'm going to do this one probably at like, yeah, 5. Do 5-inch loop on this. It's not an exact science, but sometimes, so when you pull your bow into oh, see, look, I spoke too soon. Look, I got an ugly ass splice. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you how to fix it. There we go. All right. This is going to come up. Ugh, you always splice it in the worst spot. That's okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hold this down. I'm going to twist this loop upside down. And now the splice is in the back of the loop and no one will ever know. I promise I won't tell them. Okay? It's our little secret. Ooh, you carry with you one person. Oh. Oklahoma Girl, I do have a tube of the U channel. It's, if you search for Sweet Ari Decor, I have a lot of videos out there. A lot of them are full-length videos. I got a lot of shorts, but a lot of them are true full-length videos out there. I also do have on my Etsy site, if you make tomato cage trees, that is a file available for purchase. I have a video and written instructions on how to do those. That's what I'm actually most known for, is tomato cage trees. I do this unique bow method where it basically makes these larger poofs and it looks more like the shape of an actual tree. So I have that as well. And I'm actually starting a Facebook, or a book of the face group for those that are interested in tomato cage trees. It's called Tomato Cage Trees. Unique, right? It took me forever to come up with that name. Okay, this last loop is going to come in at, I would say, this is kind of like a 4.5. Because when I pull this in, these loops are going to pop in, but I don't want it to get too sucked in. When I first started making bows, my problem was that I was making my loops too small. And then when I finally pulled it in and attached it into the project, it got like sucked inward and it looked like it was strangling. So they were very, very tight bows. And the larger I go now with the loops, it looks much better. So what I'm going to do is get a pipe cleaner from behind me. I'm grabbing a black pipe cleaner. Actually, I'm grabbing two. And I'm going to get a zip tie. This is how I take my bows off. So I want to keep this together like the mother of all BLT sandwiches. Okay. All right. So I put my fingers up underneath and pull it up a little bit. But now I've got a good grip. Both hands on this baby. I'm pulling all of it up at once. All right. I'm squeezing it. I'm putting my middle finger underneath here to kind of make sure nothing slides down. I'm going to put the pipe cleaner right underneath my index finger in the back. I'm coming back here. I'm taking the zip tie. I'm shoving that through my fingers. I'm going to lift that right underneath my thumb. It holds it in place. Then I'm going to take my middle finger and hold the back of that zip tie now. So everything's in place. Nothing's moving. Slide it through, tighten it, and then I pull it kind of down. So this is toward the bottom where I cut it off, right? So I haven't pulled it too tight yet. What I want to do is make sure everything looks good. Everything looks okay. Nothing looks funky. I can still play with the loops after I tighten it, but everything looks good. And as you can see, it retained that stack. Nothing slid. So now I'm going to squeeze down on it and I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull tight. The tighter you can pull this, the more your loops are going to pop. And that's going to give you a nice, springy, loopy, full bow. All right. And then I'm just going to twist that twice. All right. So here is our bow. And now I can start playing with the different layers, which is my favorite part. I want to make sure each loop and each tail has its chance to shine in the sun, right? So you don't want anything really overlapping itself. So I'm going to kind of play around with that. Ooh, here's a big loop there, 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 and there. All right, and this is our bow. This is one of them. This one's going to kind of go up toward the top. I'm going to move this stuff to the side just for a second. Ooh, that can move out of the way, actually. I'm going to attach one bow, and then we're going to go back and make the bottom bow because the bottom bow is going to be a little different. All right. So hang on. Hey, bear with me here. And I'm moving the sign. I'm like, what did I do with the bow? It's on the wreath. All right. So I think we're going to plan to do something like this. Okay. So what I want to do is put the sign in the center. So here I'm going to show you what I do with my sign. So here's the sign. I'm going to hold on. I got to get something. Stay there. Ah. All right. I have two things here. I have a staple gun. And this is part of the cardboard tube that I've used from the mesh. I just cut a slice of it. Because my staple is actually thicker than the sign, I need to build up the back of the sign. I do not use the rope. It moves too much. The That was one of the mistakes I made when I first started making wreaths, was that just moved too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 8 of these little squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's going to be enough. Boy, I hope that's enough to build it up. Maybe I should have done 3. But I'm going to put some in each corner, okay? Make sure you guys can see this all right. Got some in each corner. And then what I got to get some more of these. Hold on. Need more pipe cleaners. All right. I'm going to staple these. I'm trying not to use any glue in my wreaths if I can avoid it, because when it gets hot or the temperature changes, I just like to not have glue if I can avoid it. So I'm putting this, I've stacked up 2 of these, and I've got the pipe cleaner on top. Sometimes people can put the pipe cleaner in between there. I just choose to put the pipe cleaner on top. And I'm going to staple it 3 times. All right, that's on there. Good. I'm going to do the same again on all these sides. Here we go. Without getting my finger in there. I already had to Google the ER once on a live. I don't want to have to do it again. I cut my finger open on a live with the rotary tool. You're not supposed to push the blade with your finger. So I now never use a rotary tool that does not have a cover. So far, I should have checked. Yep, nothing's coming through. So 2 of these are fine. I don't know the width of my staples. They're the thinnest, I think, that I could find on Amazon. All right. Then I'm going to do the last one. I know, some people might just do it twice. I like to staple it 3 times because 3rd time's the charm, right? All right. Let me check the comments. All right, here we go. So I'm going to flip this over. So, we're all good. So I'm going to bring the wreath over. I do know that when I hang it, I'm going to want this to be like where I can hang it from. So probably going to want to put it on there like this. So down here, I can just kind of, there's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to try to feed this in where the tines already are. That gives me a good spot where I know I can feed it through. There's already a spot, and all I got to do is just kind of feed those pipe cleaners through and then kind of twist it on the bottom. Now, for right now, I'm just going to kind of give it a light little twist because I might need to adjust it. So I just want it to stay in place. It's not its final secured spot yet. Okay, here we go. This one there. This one there. Whew. I'm going to take a nap after this or something. I'm exhausted. Go back to watching the last episode of And Just Like That. Kind of been binge watching that one this week. The other one is Only Murders in the Building. Oh my gosh, I love that show. They've got Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep this season, like dream team. Paul Rudd. Yeah, it's one of my celebrity crushes. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I like funny guys. My husband, Mike, was super funny. Not in front of a lot of people. He was like, he was very shy in front of a lot of people, but like, man, he had a dirty mind too. It's what I miss the most. I'm sure he's up in heaven offending as many people as humanly possible. That's my guy. Oh, all right. Get the last one in here. Trying to find the pipe cleaner. It's gone. I'm missing. I feel like I'm going blind fishing in here. Where is... All right. Feel one there. And one here. All right. Here we go. All right. That actually feels pretty secure. I'm going to flip it over. Tighten these a little bit. Oops. Here we go. All right. So what I'm doing now is kind of just going around. I'm pulling out what I can to pull out the different ribbons. You can see I probably didn't need to go with so much of an X. I was going to have the sign further up, but then I changed my mind to do it more down in the center. That was my choice at the last minute. A creative change, which just goes to show that even though you may start your project a certain way, halfway through you might decide to make a change, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no hard and fast rule that says you have to stick with what you were originally planning, both in crafting and in life, right? So sometimes you gotta make a change, and change is scary. Change is very scary. Believe me, I knew. Especially when it's change without it's not a change you want to make. Life changes stuff for you. You just gotta do the best you can. You know? It's one thing I've learned is you can choose to wallow in the crap show that life hands you, or you can decide to make the best of it and not let it ruin you and succeed in spite of it just to make fate angry. Just to piss it off. Like, look, I did it anyway. You can't stop me. I'm unstoppable. Unstoppable. Sorry, no, I won't sing. All right. So here's what we have now for where our sign is. So this is where this is all at. I want to tighten something. Hold on. All right. Here we go. All right. So now we have our one bow that we made that I think I'm going to put up here on this corner. So I'm literally just taking these pipe cleaners and I'm going to feed it through just how I did with the signs. I'm going to find where that center point was. I can feel it. And then I'm going to drive this through the other point. The whole point is I don't want to have to try to feed my pipe cleaner through the mesh. I should use the gaps that are already there naturally. Which I did. I have to pull. Okay. Pulling it tight. You see when I pulled it tight, I'll show you the loops. It did pull these loops inward, so I'm glad that the last two layers on the bow I didn't make very tight. I left them larger because it kind of sucks them in a little bit. Okay, and this tail is too long. But I'd rather have my tail be too long than too short. I can always trim it. This one is a little too long as well. Typically, I don't make my tail stick out any more than like 1 inch past its corresponding loop. So I want to try to keep the longer tails out of the way and just have the tiny little shorter tails overlap the sign a little bit. So that's what we have this right now. That's what this looks like. There we go. Sorry. So this is that. Now I want to put another bow down here on the bottom. Now this bow is going to kind of be similar to that one, but I'm instead of having some of the tails go up, this is going to all have the ribbons come down. So I'm going to start, I'm going to do the same order that I did before. I'm going to start with this boo. And I want the tail to kind of come down, I'd say kind of like maybe like around there. So this is, I'd say this is probably like a 13-inch tail. And I can always trim them when I'm done. Absolutely trim whenever I need to. So got that as 13 inches. This, again, I think I'm probably going to do a 7-inch wide loop, pinch and twist. There we go. Now I got the back side facing up. Here we go. I should check in my comments. How y'all doing out there? Everybody okay? Can't see the bow maker. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Coming right down. There we go. Better? There we go. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Thanks, Vicki. All right, here we go. So that's 7-inch. Now this is going to come out to 7-inch, and I'm going to pull this over. Here we go. Here we go. And then that's all I'm going to do is just kind of one loop of each of that. there. And then this is going to come down. I'm going to kind of match where the other one was. And I'm going to dovetail that one as well. Why I don't dovetail everything at the end, I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to forget. Okay, so we're done. Oh, that was a squeaky sound. We're done with the Happy Halloween. All right, now we are going to do a layer of our pink boo. Love you, boo. All right, again, dovetail. Now I'm going to start this one about an inch up from where this last one ended. So I'm going to find that tail, start like an inch up. Okay, so that one probably is like 12 inches. All right, pinch and twist. Put my tail down. Got the icky side, got the pretty side. Now this one, the last loop was 7 inches. This one I want to have in at, I think probably like a 6.5. Okay. Now this method looks really good if you have a 4-inch ribbon, but again, I wanted to do one that didn't, so you could see what that is like. Because again, I didn't use 4.5-inch ribbon until I'd been making wreaths for I think 3 or 4 years. I was intimidated by it, and I also couldn't get it at the local craft store. So once I started shopping like Deco Exchange, Craft Outlet, oh man, it's got a splice. Look at that. Look at that right there. That stinks. But the good thing is I don't think you'll see it when we get the other layers on. So I'm going to leave it and pray to the ribbon gods that nobody sees it. All right. If it were like down toward the bottom, I definitely would be replacing this. And all I would have to do is cut that off and then just start the ribbon, tuck it under, and then kind of make my own new tail. But I don't think I have to. All right. Here's the third one. This is going to start probably right about there. That's probably about 11 inches. Pinch and twist. There we go. And then this loop I'm going to make at 6 inches. Oh my gosh. I forgot we have donuts. Oh, dude. I know what I'm doing when I'm done with this. Sorry. It's like I get very excited over baked goods. I'm diabetic. I probably shouldn't be. But like I said, it's all I got. It's all I got, man. Take it away. All right. Now I want to kind of, I think, I don't want to alternate. I want to keep this bow very symmetrical. So if the boo loop is going to come up on one side, I want it to come up on the other. Perfect. Perfect length. Everything looks good. The next layer is going to be the pink boo of the 1.5 inch. So absolutely, yes, you can order. So I'm going to be listing this on Etsy. If you would like to purchase this wreath, though, you can message me over on my Etsy site, sweetariadecor.com, and I'm going to have this listed. But if you want this one, I think it's going to be listed for, I think, probably $95. You can purchase this exact wreath if you want to message me there on Etsy. All of my transactions go through Etsy. So I'm going to put this at 5.5. Or if there's something custom that you want done as well. I definitely do custom work for any holiday. I mean, the only holiday I haven't made a wreath for is like Arbor Day. I mean, like literally, I could probably find a way to make something for every holiday, but this particular one is not spoken for yet that I know of because it's not listed on Etsy. So this would be adorable for Halloween. So this size frame, I think this was a 15-inch frame, which makes a 24-inch wreath. And I used 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. I used the entire roll, cut it 18 inches a piece. That gave me 18 pieces on each roll. And I used 2 ruffles per bunch. There's like 18 sets of tines. I used 2 ruffles per set. So that used up all of the mesh, except I think I had a little tiny bit extra at the end. I think I had 1 set left. Okay, coming down. And then this loop before that last one was 5.5. So this is going to be, well, that one was 5. This is going to be 4.5. And I used the exact same pattern of layering my ribbons as I did on the bow above. You don't have to, but I am a very symmetrical person. So I like to have things look kind of the same way as up on top. All right, so now I'm done with my ribbons. I'm getting another zip tie. I got my ribbon from Deco Exchange. A lot of this came in their craft supply box, the Wreath supply box, which is, I think, wreathsupplybox.com. But there's an affiliate link to Deco Exchange in my bio. And I also use Craft Outlet as well. All right, so I'm picking it all up. Giant sandwich. This right on the back. All right, you can see, here's that. Now I take the zip tie, stick it under my little thumb, wrap it around the whole thing, including that chenille stem in the back. It's pipe cleaner. I don't know why they call it a chenille stem. Sounds fancy. It's a freaking pipe cleaner. All right, now I'm tightening it as much as I can. Tighten, 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 and you can see how these things popped, right? Snip it. Woo, there we go. All right, and I'm going to move my ribbon board to the side. And now I'm going to take this. I just twist it like twice so it doesn't slide off the zip tie. And I'm going to kind of, okay, that looks good enough to start. I'm going to finish fixing it once I get it attached. So I want it to, the wreath had this one at the top corner. I want this one to kind of be down here at the bottom corner. So this one, I might have to attach a little differently. Huh. I could go through there. All right. Sorry. Ooh. All right. I can feel where those other ribbons went. All right. Here we go. Sorry. I'm just trying to feed it through. I don't want to push the pipe cleaner through the mesh. I just try to use an opening that's already there. Here we go. All right. Make sure I got. All right. So I got it in there. I just got to tighten it. I actually want to move it. I want to move it more over to this side. The nice thing about using the pipe cleaner is you can just kind of shove it through, and if you don't like it, you can pull it out and move it. There we go. I think that is a happier place. That's gonna, I didn't want it to sink or like slide down the wreath, you know, at the bottom. Okay, so let me do this. Tighten it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, and I'm just gonna tuck that pipe cleaner back in there. And I don't cut a lot of the bottoms of my pipe cleaners off because say somebody later on decides that, you know what, I don't want to put out the wreath, but I want to use the bow. This lets them take off the bow and they can still use the bow on somewhere else. You can put a bow on anywhere. You can put a bow on a garland. You can put it on a lantern. You can stick it on like another grapevine wreath or something. You can really stick bows anywhere. I have a whole bow song I made up. It's on one of my TikToks. It was last year. I was also sick, conveniently enough. And I made this whole weird bow song. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was high on NyQuil. Who knows? Okay, so this then, I'm going to put this on a wreath stand and then I'm going to adjust you so you can see what the whole thing looks like. All right, give me a second. I'm making a couple final adjustments before I do my grand reveal. Sorry, that's the 20th Century Fox song if you didn't know. And now I feel like I'm going to watch a Star Wars movie. Okay, so here is the final product. I try to move you as far back as I possibly can, as far as I possibly can. And there you go. This is the final wreath. Back a little bit further. Ta-da! So this is where it's at right now. I mean, there are things like if we wanted to, there are picks like this where you could add some picks and some embellishments and stuff in here. But I think for this one, I want to keep it just very simple, just with the ribbons and the sign. I don't want to detract too much from the sign. The sign in this wreath is really the main focus. So I want to kind of keep it that way. The Bowmaker, Heidi's Bowmaker is not hard to use at all. If you buy it, I think they give you, there's like access to a guide, but there's lots of us Bowmakers and wreath makers you can watch on here, or the U of the Tube that can show you how to make it. It's so easy. Basically, it saves your hands from hurting. In the ribbon, like in this model, it just slides down in here and it stays. Like last night I started a bow. I walked away from it once my cocktail hot dogs were done making in the oven, and I didn't come back to it till this morning, and nothing moved. It stays in place, and that's what's nice, is that you can just, leave it, and it doesn't unravel or anything like that. And like I said, I got a little arthritis going on in my left hand, which is the one that would hold it tight. It's hard to use, so I love it. Thank you everyone for the comments. I appreciate it. This was really fun to make with you guys. I will have this listed in my Etsy site. I think this one's going to go for, I promised 95 and I'm going to stick to it. That's what I said. I'm sticking to it. So that's going to be what I listed at. Now that does not include shipping. I think shipping on this one is probably going to be about $19 because of the size of this. Shipping, actually, it's not on the weight of the object. It's on, when you get to the size, it's on the dimensional weight, which is length times width times height times this certain number factor, which is how they figure out how much space it takes up in their truck, which is why, while wreaths may not be heavy, they cost to ship. So, but I only charge $19.99 for the shipping. So I'm going to have this listed there, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, listening to my gnarly voice that is trying to get better. But you can find me on Facebook. You can find me Book of the Face. You can find me on, here on TikTok, on the Insta, on the U of the Tube. And again, my website is sweetariadecor.com, named after my daughter Aria, who's no longer sweet, but Cranky Aria Decor does not sound like a good business name now. So that's where we're at. But thank you guys so much. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of your weekend. Go binge something good and then let me know what you watched. All right? Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok, and you can also see all of my available creations at sweetariadecor.com.